Sometimes, when exploring the lands between, we come across breathtaking sights. We can look down at the land surrounding Lanedell from the Erdtree Gazing Hill, look upon the majesty of Stormvale Castle, and even stand at the foot of the radiant Erdtree itself. However, most of the time we're exploring the land on horseback or diving into catacombs. Once we do end up in these underground areas, we can face some harrowing experiences, such as fighting Crucible Knight Ordovis and one of his knights, doing battle with a cemetery shade, or coming face to face with an ulcerated tree spirit. And then there's these guys, the gang squad themselves, the Imps. What are these little creatures that defend the catacombs we explore, striking from the shadows at every opportunity and ruining our day by swarming when we least expect it? Today, we're going to take a look at the Imps and do our best to explain the little lore surrounding them. Welcome to the Elden Lore series, where we walk you through the stories and backgrounds of the characters, groups, and enemies found throughout Elden Ring. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode. The team here at Scary Terror Gaming is appreciative of every view. If you end up liking this video, why not subscribe to the channel? Every sub helps us grow the incredible community of lore enthusiasts we've cultivated over our almost 2 years of exploring Elden Ring. You can even join our Discord, where we discuss all kinds of topics related to FromSoft titles, from the lore of Elden Ring to which Soulsborne boss reigns supreme. Whether you subscribe or not, thanks again for spending some time with us. And don't forget to check out the Elden Lore playlist, so you can explore almost 100 lore dives. With that said, let's get back to the topic at hand. The Imps are annoying. These creatures reside within catacombs and have a penchant for jumping from where you'd least expect them and overwhelming you before you can react to their assault. They wield forked weapons such as hatchets and greatswords, specifically designed to bleed us dry, giving us precious little time to react to their attacks. These weapons tell us very little about the Imps themselves, simply stating they are oddly shaped or peculiar. The gently undulating forked blade is known as an Imp's tongue and causes blood loss. Everything about these creatures seems meant to ward us away from ever coming in contact with them, which makes sense as their only purpose is to defend the catacombs we find them in. This explains the wide variety of heads we can see on the various Imps, depicting different horrible visages. All of these Imp heads are described as a head covering made from the largely unaltered head of an impish golem, and each holds its own specific stat-boosting power. We have the cat, which holds trace amounts of feline intelligence, the wolf, which holds trace amounts of lupine endurance, the elder, which holds trace amounts of arcane knowledge, the fanged, resembling a fanged demon, which holds trace amounts of bestial strength, the long-tongued, resembling a long-tongued demon, which holds trace amounts of dexterity, and the corpse, resembling the visage of a corpse, which holds trace amounts of lingering faith. Each of these horrible heads offers a boon of some kind and serves a specific purpose, to scare you away from ever plundering the depths of the areas in which these Imps reside. These creatures are clearly made from stone, and if we take a look at the Watchdog staff, it actually tells us a little about the Imps. Large stone staff embedded with glintstone, wielded by Erdtree burial watchdogs who protect catacombs. The watchdogs, battered and broken over their lengthy tenure, rule the catacombs and are even said to command the Imps. So it would seem that the Imps defend the catacombs under a structure that has the watchdogs on top, acting as their commanders, sending them to the various areas they inhabit to hinder those that would come to plunder these sacred ruins, where the roots of the Erdtree can be found, and those that were worthy were brought for Erdtree burials. With the understanding that the Imps are made of stone and are led by other, larger stone constructs, we can say with some certainty that these inorganic creatures did not occur naturally in the lands between, but were brought to life through some kind of magic. It would be easy to assume they have no will of their own, but the fanged Imp ashes imply they do have some kind of higher cognition, telling us These spirits are well suited to causing a disturbance, moving nimbly like pests and hurling magic pots. The two imps seem fond of each other's company. If they were simply mindless automatons, we find it unlikely they would show any kind of camaraderie with each other. An interesting note about the imps is that they can be affected by the crystal darts. These throwable darts turn them against each other, which speaks to the possibility that whoever created the imps actually has some tie to the original creator of the Crystallians. When we say this, we don't mean that the imps, watchdogs, possibly even the larger golems of the lands between, and the Crystallians were all created by the same person. Rather, that the Crystallians shared the knowledge of creating a form of artificial life through stone with others. The spell Shattering Crystal tells us the Crystallians are inorganic beings, yet they live. They cleave close to the ideals of the primeval current, and as such, they are revered guests of the sorcerers. And Crystal Burst tells us it is a sorcery of the Crystal Cadre, a group of sorcerers who pursued the wisdom of stone, the secrets locked in the faint cognition of the Crystallians. If we consider the possibility that the Crystallians shared their knowledge with the Crystal Cadre, then we have a group that could be responsible for the creation of the imps and watchdogs. This idea can be bolstered by looking again at the watchdog's staff, which is embedded with glintstone, and their sword, which tells us, though decorated with the watchman's eye, the pupil was taken by grave robbers and is now hollow, leaving this sword a mere lump of stone. We believe this pupil was once a piece of glintstone, more proof of the ties between the sorcerers of Raya Lucaria, who made up the Crystal Cadre, the Crystallians, and the imps. If the sorcerers of the Crystal Cadre facilitated the creation of the imps, this would mean that the catacombs had no protectors aside from the undead that sometimes roam their halls, until the marriage of Radagon to Queen Renala. It was not until this time that Queen Marika and the Academy of Raya Lucaria set aside their war against each other and became tentative allies under the rule of the Golden Order. Following this line of thinking, we know Radagon had a particular interest in keeping the secrets of the Golden Order hidden from the world, so it makes sense that he would have these imps commissioned by the only sorcerers in the lands between that may have knowledge of artificial constructs. However, there is one loose end to this theory and timeline: the imp statues found across the lands between that lock Everjails and create force fields to keep us out of areas those who sealed them wanted to protect. We believe the simple explanation here is that these imp statues simply came first. They were already being utilized across the land as a way to magically seal away threats to the Golden Order and the secrets they wanted hidden. Their design was simply repurposed, so they could serve the same function in a different capacity. Thanks to the Crystal Cadre, these imp statues would not only work as magical jailers, but they would be given artificial life so they could defend the secrets of the Golden Order in a more physical and, frankly, annoying fashion. So what did you think of our exploration and theory on the origins of the imps? Do you believe that these stone constructs are somehow becoming more sentient over time? Were they given life by the Crystal Cadre at the behest of Radagon to defend the secrets of the Golden Order? Why were the imps given so many different variations of heads? Do you believe they have a different origin? And if so, what is it? We look forward to reading your thoughts and theories in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on any of our lore dives. We look forward to seeing you again for more Elden Lore.